the beauty in dying. So I know that it's something, you know, weird to think about, that there's beauty in dying, but there is. And I want to discuss it because it's such an important time right now. We're in the end times. We really are. And so if you know all about that, and you've done your research, and you understand heaven, hell, you understand God, you have a relationship with him, and you know who you truly are. You understand that you're a spirit, and that you belong back in heaven, in the sixth dimension or higher. Then you might be able to understand what I'm saying here when I say that death is not something to be afraid of. And I think it's an important subject to talk about right now, because many of us are going to be facing that. I want to say soon. I just can't say exactly when, right? But I do want to say soon, because we are in the end times. That's just the reality. And again, it's nothing to be afraid of. So I just want to talk about how death, um, you know, we make it sound like such a scary thing here in the physical world. Um, and it's not, because it is because we don't really understand it. And I think we've been deceived in a lot of ways, to sort of think of it as maybe scary, or something that is puzzling to us. Like, a lot of people, wonder, where do you go? Is that it? Or do you go somewhere else? And thankfully, we're in a place where most people understand that you don't just like disappear completely, right? Most people know you go back to the spiritual world, which is great. It's good to know, but we have to also separate ourselves from the new age beliefs. And I'm not even sure right now what they think of, like, where you go. They probably think, oh, you're infinite, and you just, I don't know, go back into the universe. I don't know, I've seen some stuff, but um, we really do go back to heaven. We go back with God. We go back to our real family. And we do have a real family. We have brothers, sisters, and a whole family. We have a dad. And, it's really, well, a dad. I'm not sure that he's everybody's dad per se. I'm not even really sure. But this is our family. God is our family. The Most High, He's our family. And everybody in heaven is our family. And that's where we go back to. So when you're ready to die, you just have to realize that death is going to happen. And hopefully it happens quickly. And you go right back home. It's the most beautiful place to go back home, where we really belong. You go back with your spirit. It's like a heavenly body that you have as your spirit. So you don't even just go back in like a ball of spirit, right? When you think of spirit, sometimes you think like a ball with like energy in it. That's how I have always, like, well, in the past, visualized my spirit was like sort of like a ball of energy. And I just, I lose everything else type thing. It's just a soul. And then what am I going to reincarnate here and whatever? And that's another subject. But you really just go back to heaven. You go back to heaven. And then after that, you have the choice of doing whatever else, right? And it's whatever God wants us to do, and maybe what we want to do for ourselves. We all have a choice, though, right? Whatever we do, we have a choice. We have free will. um so so you go back to heaven, and really, you have free will, right? So you could go to hell. So you have to be careful, extremely careful. So when you are about to die, hopefully, you've done everything you could up to that point to go back to God. And the thing is, you really have to be careful to go back to God, with with your honor, um, still intact, right? Like, you have to, like, you can't take the microchip, like that's it. You go to hell if you take the microchip, right? So you have to be really careful. So if you are like on your deathbed or you're facing death, right? um as long as you have done everything you could to be good and to serve God and serve everybody in heaven, serve your spirit, then you will go back to heaven. So there's nothing to be afraid of. If anything, you should be celebrating, right? Obviously, death can be painful in our physical bodies. It can be suffering, but we have to see it as like it's a physical thing. It'll be done soon, and after that, it's like, you know, glory or whatever. It's beauty. Heaven is beauty. It's the most beautiful place we could ever dream of going back to. So that's why it's so important that we learn about heaven and hell. And that's why people push it so much, because it's so important. And right now, it's so important. Um, and that's why I'm really trying pretty hard to like to get the word out right now, because people need to know that this is coming and this is like on our doorstep, and people need to be ready, spiritually ready. So when I sort of see or hear people, or just get the sense from people that they're afraid of death, they're afraid of suffering, they're afraid of just death, right? I just i just want them to understand that there's really nothing to be afraid of. It's a beautiful thing that you return back to. It's a beautiful home. And I just wish that everybody really knew that that it'll be beautiful. And even if your death is painful, whenever you do go, even if it's painful, um, just celebrate that you're about to go back to heaven, you know? And this world, as beautiful as it can be, um, it is corrupted. It is corrupted, and it's just, it's full of deceptions, right? And we don't really want to stay here. And it's not that we don't want to stay here. Um, it's also that we um, need to go back to heaven to keep to help our angel family with this war that's happening, the spiritual war that's happening between basically God and Lucifer, right? And um, we just have to help each other out. It's about our souls. It's about our souls, and that's the most important thing there is. It's about our souls. So I just want people to picture, what your death might be or might look like. Picture it, because then you'll be more ready for it. And then, there's several ways you could go, I'm sure. And it might be, totally different than what you imagine, right? But if you can just start to picture different scenarios, then you can start to be prepared. And like I've pictured the like guillotine thing or whatever, and well, I mean, I'm not gonna discuss it too much, but I'm prepared. I'm prepared. Like, if that happens to me, yeah, of course you're going to be scared. It's natural. It's our natural physical reaction to something extreme in this physical world, and even in the spiritual world, right? Our spirits are going to be going like, "Oh, here we go." Like, this kind of scary, or this is kind of crazy, right? Like, it's all part of um our life here, and our soul's life, right? Everything is a challenge, right? But we need to just be prepared for it. So when you start to know the truth, then you can imagine what the scenarios might be, and then just get comfortable. Be like, if or when that happens, I'm going to just to be ready, and I'm going to have loved my life up till then as much as I could, and you know, told my loved ones that that there's nothing to be afraid of, and to go with love in your heart, and to go with awareness of where you're going. Just fill your heart with love in that moment, or you know, leading to that, up to that moment, because all there is love, you know. And there's nothing to be afraid of except maybe a little bit of pain in the physical world. But you know, you have to try and look beyond that, and you have to try and just focus on the love and the place that you're going. If you stay with God, if you do what you're supposed to do, you stay with God and you stay away from the negativity of this world and the deceptions of this world, the lies, and you know, everything that Lucifer brings to this physical world, this simulation of a world, you are going home to heaven. And believe me when I say, it is so beautiful there, so full of everything that you've ever dreamed of. It reminds me of a movie that I used to love, and I've been wanting to watch it again. It's with Robin Williams, What Dreams May Come. And I just always love that. I mean, he basically, I don't know, I think they both died, him and his partner, or she died and then he went for her. Anyways, she went to hell, and he went to go to try to save her soul and whatever. But basically, in the movie, I mean, he visits. He's in his own beautiful dream world, and ever since I saw that movie so many years ago, I always just knew in my heart that heaven is gonna be your own dream world. And it really is what it is. It's been revealed that that is exactly what heaven is. It's your own beautiful dream world. It's everything beautiful, everything magical, in just the simplest way, just that everything is love and everything is beauty. And you know it, but it is what you make of it, right? You also have free will out there, so you have to decide for good things if that's what you really want. So of course, again, I, you know, encourage you to just make the right decisions. Don't take vaccinations, don't take microchips, don't follow Lucifer's agenda, Lucifer's world, Lucifer's people. Don't follow that energy. Don't follow those deceptions and those lies, um, because you really, really, I assure you that you want to go to heaven. It's where we really belong, and this is why we're here. It's to make that choice. It's, you know, we have free will, and God wants us to decide for ourselves what we want to choose. So choose not to be afraid, and choose to understand love and to understand who you really are, and you will go back home. And it will be mostly painless because you'll be filled with love. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. So, I'll talk to you guys later.